Well, with us today is Gabriele De Lorenzi, the director of WorldMatch. Thank you very much for joining us today, Gabriele.
Thank you, John, for inviting me to this interview, and I'm happy to be here with you.
So WorldMatch is celebrating 20 years in the industry this year, and it's an industry that has developed enormously in 2 decades. Tell us a little bit about how has the development of the industry met expectations, how things evolved the way that the company imagined over these 20 years, and what are the challenges now for the next 20 years, we hope?
Well, yes, we have been in the market for a very long time now. The company is based in Italy, so we start 20 years ago, and the market was completely different compared to the market we have now. Internet connection was something different. We know, especially in these last few months, how important is internet in order to have a good communication worldwide. And so the industry has changed a lot. The different kind of game has changed a lot. We start at the beginning working in shopping center, so big center where there was different kind of connection compared to the one that people have at home at the time, and making skill games or games in order to entertain or to give prize to people. And then everything start to evolve very quickly, I think, because especially related with internet. So the evolution of internet open really very important opportunities. And so we start working since the beginning, producing games. At that time, I think we have been among the first one to use Flash as a plugin in order to develop games. And also, from the technical point of view, in the way of developing game, many things has changed. So it was a very challenge. It has been really challenging, and really nice to grow up with the technology and to see the company growing up at the same time, and moving from a shopping center to a worldwide company working in any part of the world, having people working in Latin America, Europe, Asia. So we are very proud of what we have done in these 20 years.
What do you see as the most exciting developments technologically now that you're looking forward to?
Well, now technology is going mostly mobile. So we have some area of the world where we have more than 90% people playing mobile. Some other where it's still 50-50. But yeah, it's mostly mobile, and so also the way the games are made, the way the user can interact with the games has changed quite a lot as well in the last 4 or 5 years. And so we had to work in order to improve the game and to improve the user friendly interface in order to make easier the player to understand the games, to understand the different options inside the games, and to make easy for them to play. We all know that when we have something new, we want to have a plug and play experience, so not really waste time in reading, understanding. So the player, I think, is the same. He wants to understand very easily the game and have the possibility to play, to get engaged, and spend some times in this kind of activities.
Now, WorldMatch has just recently launched a portfolio of 30 certified games for Portugal. Tell us a little bit about the significance of that, and is that a route that you would look to develop for other markets as well?
Yeah, of course. It is very important for us. This we took some time because the Portuguese legislation is very complicated, so we have to do some adaptation to the games. But it's just one of the steps we have taken in the past, and we are going to take in the future, because we always trusted in a regulated market, and that is why we have been, for example, few people know, but the first license in Malta was given to WorldMatch. We have been, I think, among the first to get the license to regulate the games for the Italian market. We are Italian, we know this market very well, so we knew the importance of that. And so we took the certification for Spain, Portugal. We are completing UK certification as well. And we have started working in Argentina, for example. There is few areas where the market is regulated because it is something related to the different regions. But we are there too. So regulated markets are very important for us. We are considering, for example, Belarusian market as well. So yes, we are looking, for example, Brazil. So we trust regulated market. I think it's the right solution in order to have to protect player, to give resources to the different country, and to have game fair for the player. So game that can be tested, cannot cheat the player, and so our effort is to keep on working on a regulated market.
Excellent.
So every time there is a good opportunity, and we see the opportunity in a country like Colombia, for example, we have seen in Colombia a good opportunity because it was one of the first, I think, actually the first regulated market in Latin America. So we at that time we certify since the beginning 60 game, which is a lot between a slot machine and table game. And we are actually one of the main content provider in that market. So yes, we will invest in the future in a regulated market, because we think that's the right way to move on.
And people have talked about the market in Europe reaching close to saturation points. Do you think there are still space to develop new games that can reach a new, a still wider audience and still captivate more new players?
Well, also in this we have seen a development, because at the beginning it was just a matter of table games, also in Europe, so roulette, blackjack, those kind of games. And actually the market is mostly for provider like us of RNG casino games, is mostly slot machine games. And they take the most of the market. I think there is margin to make different kind of games. We have some idea on this, for example, but we also think there should be more like a convergence between the land-based markets and online markets. It's something that we are doing, for example, in Italy, where we have a special line of slot machine game, which can attract a lot of players that come from the land-based market, which is made through agreements with very important land-based producer. And so we take that game to the online markets. And that is especially in this period, because in this period, as we know, all the retail market has been closed down. And the opportunity for many players to have the chance to find the same game with the same mathematics on the online market is a good opportunity. So it's a good opportunity for the operator, and it's a good way to attract player that perhaps they don't know about the online market. They are not so used to the online markets. And we could see the result of this, especially in some market, European market. We could see that this new way to develop games gave us new space. So it was very important to develop in the past years relationship with land-based producer, and now to have the possibility to give to the operators these kind of games, which are the same of the land-based market. So that was very good. So I think you need to use a bit of creativity, invest in research, not be scared to do some new games, because maybe you will not get the result right away, but as a company you have to try different ways, to try new things, because you never know where you can have something that can be really winning or can attract players. So as I said before, we are actually developing, beside our common line of games, we are developing something that is different, and we will see in the future if it works or not, but it's part of the challenge as well.
We look forward to seeing the results.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to add while you're here?
Well, I think, not really. I think it has been really nice to have the chance, the opportunity to speak with you, to give a little explanation of WorldMatch, what we do, and especially in this period where everything seems to be so difficult, but also in this, I see a lot of creativity around, and people could find a good way to keep on working and have a good result as well. So I'm really happy I could have this opportunity, and I hope we can have other chance to speak again in the future.
Likewise. Thank you very much for joining us, Gabriele. It's been a pleasure.
You are welcome.